A little bit of bubbly in my life, a little bit of bubbly by my side, a little bit of bubbly is all I need, a little bit of bubbly, ready to do. What next for Jordan Myles? I am Luke, and this is Chopper Whopper Pete Quinnell. And press the subscribe button, press the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and get your super chats in to a returning Randy Andy Datson.
Woo, yeah. Round of applause,
He's
everybody.
back once again like a renegade master.
Yeah. Laurie's away, which is why I'm here and not over there.
Yes.
And Randy's over there.
Laurie's having a lovely time with himself.
Yes.
Away. And his lady.
Lovely time with the boy.
Yes. And, of course, head on over to Screenstalker.
Yes.
Little link down there where you can watch our new movie and video game YouTube channel. We've got some really good content going up, including Ollie Davis's review of It Chapter 2, which he saw earlier in this week. And I believe the episode also features you going around the It Chapter 2 live experience.
Yep.
And some reactions you had watching the first It movie as well.
That is correct. I don't deal well with horror at all. No. And it's me watching It Chapter 1. I didn't have a good time. And going around the It Chapter 2 live experience. I also did not have a good time. But then we've got Ollie's review of the movie as well. And that video will be going live shortly before this ramble finishes.
Yes, so about 5 minutes before this episode ends, that video will go live. So as soon as you're done watching this, you can head on over to Screenstalker or open the little link up in a new tab, press the subscribe button, and just be there waiting.
Be ready and waiting.
Be there, ready and bloody waiting. So, let's talk about Jordan Myles, who had a match.
Yep. It was...
And now over to Randy with your notes. So Jordan Myles won the Breakout Tournament.
Yes, he did.
Which guaranteed him a shot at an NXT title of his choice. He could have gone for the North American title. He could have gone to the UK, I guess. But he chose to challenge Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship, which I thought was a great choice.
Correct.
Really, really good choice. Really good for the character. But where this fell down is exactly what Simon and I were talking about when we were doing NXT after the TakeOver special, which was there's been no build for this.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a video package for it last week. We had an angle, then had a week of nothing, and now the matches happened. Subsequently, the crowd were not buying into this whatsoever.
No, not even a little bit.
The crowd looked at this match as the foregone conclusion that it was. So they weren't buying into any of Myles' near falls. They weren't really buying into a lot of his offense. They were popping for the big flips and stuff that he does, but they never believed that he had a hope in hell of winning.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was the key, is that I think people enjoyed the match, and I enjoyed the match. It was a very solid match. But yeah, not for 1 second did I buy that Jordan Myles was going to win. And I think if they built it up properly, they could have. If they'd have capitalized on the momentum, granted, the Breakout Tournament wasn't the biggest success. It didn't really get that many characters over. It didn't really get...
It didn't get any characters over.
I mean, Angel Garza was pretty over.
Oh, that's true.
Say.
Actually, I'll give you Angel Garza, yeah. And Cameron Grimes has got a hat now.
Yeah, which means he's over.
But he's got a new hat.
But yeah, I think if they'd have built this properly, because they've got a lot of time between now and TakeOver War Games, they've got time to spare to build this little mini feud between Myles and Cole. I think if they'd have built that up, if they'd have had Myles running wild on Kyle O'Reilly or, Bobby Fish or whatever, and then eventually found his way to Cole, and with Cole being like, oh no, you can't get this shot, you're not worthy of stepping in there, you've only been here for 2 minutes, or, whatever Cole can say. I think that would have lent itself to people buying into it a bit more, but no one did.
It didn't need to be a TakeOver match. We didn't need to build this to TakeOver War Games, but we could have given it 4-5 weeks worth of story to then sort of build to it. So like if you'd have spent, excuse me, not my microphone there, you could have spent this taping schedule building this match and then do it on your first episode of NXT when it goes live on the USA Network. So then it's like, and the first episode of NXT on the USA Network is going to have a big title match between Adam Cole and the winner of the Breakout Tournament, Jordan Myles, and he will have had this big sort of 4-5 week push, really built him up so the crowd are really hot for all of his stuff. Then you film that in front of a live audience, the crowd are going to be eating it up and they might be believing that Jordan Myles could win. They probably would have expected Cole to retain. I would have expected Cole to retain. But there would have been a modicum of belief in there about that. And that's where I feel this match fell down. Because as you said, it was good. It wasn't a bad match.
No.
Absolutely wasn't a bad match. But it was just... I just don't... And bless Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness and Beth Phoenix, they were doing their best to make this feel like this was a big deal. Jordan Myles could actually win this. They tried as hard as they could, but it just wasn't being reflected in the crowd. There was a moment when Jordan Myles had a near fall and the crowd didn't even count along.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And the commentary was going crazy, just being like, this is it! Jordan Myles has won! Jordan Myles won! Oh! And they were like really putting it over, and the crowd were just like, woo.
And that's the problem, is like, this is all a solid idea. Yeah. A really, really good thing. You do this breakout tournament, the winner gets a title shot, and it's faced up against this very arrogant heel champion. Completely works. On paper, that completely works. It's you just pull the trigger too soon. And so, I thought it was good. But I've got very little to say about the actual match itself.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't buying into the near falls.
I wasn't either. I think the story they told through the match was a decent one. It wasn't anything, too special, but it was fine. There was a nice bit at the start when Myles was trying to do like a load of like leapfrogs and things like that, and Cole was just having none of it, and he would just stop and then just get him in a headlock and take him down and stuff, and that was nice. But like, there wasn't many like crazy spots in the match to make you go, oh my god, Myles has won this with this thing. Like,
no, but there were like a couple of spots that did make me go like, whoa, like when where Cole whipped him into the ropes.
Yeah, that was
face first and got the big whiplash thing.
It was a brutal spot.
That was a brutal spot. But at the end, Cole, I called him Michael Cole for a second. There's I've got Cole written in my notes. Cole got the knees up on the Midnight Star. Myles dodged the last shot, but then got hit with a super kick and the last shot. Cole retained, and Jordan Myles left the ring being like, oh man, came so close. Shucks, superhero.
Shucks, yeah.
But I think a more interesting aspect to this is earlier in the show, they showed Myles walking up to the building with our boy, Keith Lee, WrestleTalk's favourite Keith Lee. And Kathy Kelly approaches Jordan Myles to ask him about this title shot he's got later on. And he says, I'm nervous, but, I believe in myself. I'm going to win, yada, yada, yada. And Keith Lee all of a sudden just pipes up and is like, hey, man, you've only been here for a few months, and you're already getting these chances. You should have all the confidence in the world. Mm-hmm. Which felt to me like a bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Playing off Keith Lee's story that he's been here for a year and has done nothing, and then lost to someone.
Dijakovic?
No, he lost to someone before Dijakovic. Oh, it was Punishment Martinez.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest, then lost to Dijak.
Yeah.
And now he's here almost being a second to this guy who's only been here for a cup of coffee, and he's already getting a title shot. Yeah. So it's kind of already there, foreshadowing, maybe planting a few seeds in there. We've already planted some seeds, now we're just planting more seeds. And then you were talking about a WWE.com thing, which I'd imagine we'll end up seeing on next week's show.
Yeah, this was after the main event. Kathy Kelly again goes up to Jordan Myles and be like, hey, sorry about your loss. What were you thinking in the final moments of the match? I was like, probably not a lot. He got hit in the back of the head. But then he turns to Kathy Kelly and just doesn't have any words. It's just like... And Keith Lee walks over and just goes, look, bro, I know you don't have words right now. There's something I want you to think about. I met you in 2008 in Texas. I told you back then you were going to be something special. I think you've proved it to everyone in the NXT universe. You don't need to be down about what you just experienced. Another opportunity is going to come, that I promise you. And at that opportunity, you'll be ready. Keep your head up, bro. And then walks away.
What was the delivery like of this promo?
It seemed... similar to the other one earlier, it seemed very genuine and babyface-ish, but there's just that tiny little tease. I'm like, is he being genuine or is he being a bit jealous?
Yes.
Because someone else that's been here for 2 minutes has got a title shot and he hasn't.
Could we end up seeing Lee and Myles as a tag team? Almost this sort of like little and large relationship between the two. And then you got the big behemoth in Keith Lee and the little flip-de-doo guy in Jordan Myles. They called him ACH for a second then. Yeah. In Jordan Myles. And you kind of have a bit of a run with them, and then eventually you split them off with Lee doing the heel turn on Myles, and maybe that's what's going to kickstart the push. I mean, I could be into it. I think Keith Lee's such a good baby face that I'm not like chomping at the bit to be like, oh man, I hope they turn Keith Lee heel. Well, I'm really chomping at the bit. It's like, I hope they give Keith Lee a push. Like
yeah.
But I've been doing that since, the summer last year.
I mean, they're clearly not going anywhere with Keith Lee as a face, so I'm totally fine with them turning him heel and giving him a go with that. As long as they actually do give him a go with that.
Yes.
That I'm perfectly fine with. I think it would be too soon if they did it like now. I think maybe, closer towards War Games would be better.
Yes, you can build this sort of tag run with the two of them.
Exactly, yeah. And then a few weeks out, Lee turned, and then you set up maybe a takeover match, or maybe the one after the takeover. Yeah. You'll have Lee versus Myles as a a takeover match or the one after takeover. I think that would really work.
Or you do it as a big main event on the show,
Yeah.
on an NXT show. When they're going live very soon, so in theory, all shows could feel like really big deals.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah. So overall, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah.
I just think that it needed a little bit more time on the hob to really start to boil over.
Yes.
And they took this off too soon, and as such, it was tepid water.
Yes, it was. It was
Stretching that analogy out as far as I can.
technically solid, but not very emotional.
This wasn't a good show as last week.
No, but although that was a very high bar to beat.
Wasn't it just, yeah. But let's head on over to Randy Andy Datson, who has got your super chats.
I do. We have got a few to get through, so let's start
do
with
that.
Ryan Kester, who says, it really felt like the rush to Myles going for the championship shot was to move on quickly after a lackluster tournament.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I just think if your tournament was lackluster, shouldn't you be trying harder to kind of elevate it and try and make something? Because if you do another tournament like this next year, are people going to care?
No, exactly. And I think if you'd have built the feud around Myles and Cole a bit more, it would have made the breakout tournament, by extension, feel even more prestigious. Yeah. Because, look, this guy is now in a feud with Cole rather than he's done this match and now you're probably going to forget it happened in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a proper build would have been better.
It's not a bad shout, though, in
yeah,
terms of
they
may have just been like, oh, that was a bit of a dud. Let's just get it over and done with.
Yeah.
Austin Baker says, sadly, their ROH match was better than this.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be a case of a lot of things in WWE. They had, like, AJ Styles and Nakamura had a better match in Wrestle Kingdom than they did at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Austin Shoot says, what are your thoughts of NXT talent that are not being used at all, like EC3 and Asuka, along with others, switching back to NXT for when it goes to USA?
I was actually thinking about Asuka in particular. I think Asuka could flourish going back to NXT.
Imagine if no one can beat Shayna Baszler and then Asuka turns up.
Yeah, no one can beat me.
And then she was like, hey, I never lost my championship.
Yeah.
That's mine.
That would be great. Wins that belt again. And essentially just
imagine, that would be amazing.
I'd be totally into Asuka returning. EC3, I don't know. Like, he didn't really have a great shot in NXT, and then was just completely forgotten about up on the main roster as well. It felt like since day one they've had no plans for him. He had that North American ladder match where he was, that was his debut, and then that was it.
Yeah, he
had a match with Velveteen Dream, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a takeover
which
match.
wasn't a very good match.
No, it was fine. I mean, EC3 is such a baffling case because I don't think he fits the NXT mold. He's very much a main roster guy, but he's not doing anything on the main roster either. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with him.
See, the thing with EC3 that really winds me up is that the story was he was meant to get the call up last year. So when they had that takeover match with the Dream and he lost that match, the idea was they were going to take him up to the main roster after SummerSlam with this sort of big push in mind. But he got a concussion in that match, and I just feel that the company are probably like, he's injury prone. Can't push him now.
Can't do him.
Such a shame. Really annoys me.
Yeah.
But they have now got 2 hours to fill, and you can't just shove a Leah on for an hour every week. So
they shoved Tainara concert. Sorry, just Tainara out there this week. Just Tainara this week. A Titantron says otherwise, but they just announced her as Tainara. But they just shoved Tainara and Bianca Belair out there, and they had a corking little match this week.
Great. Conti is good.
Yeah.
James Williams says 2 things. 1, Kona Reeves had a great match. I know you guys hate him, but he's developed a great character. And 2, Chopper, where's your crown?
It's over there. Don't wear it, mate. It's too hot to wear.
It's way too hot now.
I don't hate Kona Reeves.
I don't either.
No, we're just having fun because it's a silly little gimmick. Like it is. It's a very cartoony gimmick, and it's easy to make fun of. So we don't hate him. We just think it's funny to make fun of him.
Yeah, I think he's actually very solid in the ring. I mean, he's not one of my favorites. Not going to go that far, but he's solid.
And also, it's very easy to make fun of someone who clearly the NXT were like, oh, here's a big star for us. This is our new self-made star. We've given him this big gimmick. We've given him all these video packages. And they put him in the ring, and then after 2 weeks, went, no, and
never mind.
And it's just it's easy to call him Tesco's finest.
Yeah. Duffs 101 says, I know you guys can't review it, but have you seen any of NXT Cardiff yet?
Still haven't seen
it. No.
I've
been so busy this week.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those things where I will likely see it by the time the year is out. By the time the year is over and we come around to doing our best matches of the year, that is when I will finally sit down and watch TakeOver Cardiff.
Yeah, I think I'm on holiday later this month for a week, so maybe I'll find time then.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to find time while I'm working.
My girlfriend was like, "Oh, well, I want to watch a wrestling match with you," and I was like, "Okay, well, watch Tyler Bate Walter." 5 minutes in, she hadn't watched a single second of it, so I'm giving up on that.
Yeah,
nice.
I think, like, funny enough, so our Patreon poll is currently up at the moment for our WrestleRamble Extra, and that's got All In on it. And All In was a show I was super duper excited for, but I was actually on my honeymoon when All In happened, and so I didn't see it live. And by the time I got back and I started doing work again, I had no time to watch it, and to this day, I still have not seen that show. I've seen Pentagon Jr. and Pentagon Jr. and Kenny Omega,
yeah.
And I saw the over the budget battle royal, but that is the only matches I've seen.
Wow.
So I'm actually hoping that it does win the poll because I've been looking for an excuse to watch it.
Yeah.
As part of my job. The thing is with this job is once you start doing work, then you have no time to do anything.
Exactly.
We'll do last one for now from Jobber JJ. Says, nice to see Randy back. Also, happy birthday, King Chopper Whopper. A little bit of the bubbly. A
little bit of the bubbly.
Boys. Oh, by the way, this chair seems to have a curse because now they keep saying happy birthday to me. So.
Oh, wow. That feels nice, honestly.
Cursed seat.
Yeah.
Remember, It Chapter 2, Spooky Dooky, Scary Wary. Oliver Davis will be reviewing it later on. In fact, actually, I would say in probably about half an hour's time, Ollie Davis is going to be reviewing it over on Screenstalker. There's a link in the video description down below. Give that a little click. Give them a subscribe as well, or give us a subscribe. And try and get to our goal of 50,000 subs, where we're going to start doing a weekly 2K Universe mode, which is being with our DM, Chopper Pete Quinnell. All of us are in the game. We've all got character models, which were done by Jaron Walker. They all look really, really cool. And so yeah, we're really stoked to do it, but we need your help in order to get us to that goal so we can start doing it. And yeah, It Chapter 2 is going to be reviewed by Oliver Davis, and it'll be going up live 5 minutes before this stream ends.
Yeah. I really hope, by the way, that the official title of the movie is It Chapter 2, Spooky Doo, Spooky Dooky Doo.
Spooky Dooky, Scary Wary?
Yeah, that. Yeah, I want it to be that. That's the official title now.
I'll be honest, this is why I wasn't asked to do the review. Right, so the show kicked off with a video package for Cole versus Myles. Just wish it had more build. And then we got our first match of the evening between Breezeango and taking on Chase Parker and Matt Martell. So Breezeango, what an odd little journey these two have been on.
Yeah.
Tyler Breeze returned to NXT, doing his Prince Pretty gimmick again. And it felt like this is a new start for Tyler Breeze.
Yes.
He had a match with Velveteen Dream and everything, right back to the Prince Pretty gimmick. Very, very exciting.
It was fun.
And then they get into a feud with, or he gets into a feud with the Forgotten Sons. All of a sudden, Fandango returns. And it's super serious Fandango. And he's not doing the gyring, he's not doing the dancing. And you're like, oh my God, it's Fandango 2.0. But now they're a serious tag team. What an interesting dynamic. Then they did a promo where they were like, no, we're a comedy tag team again. Where they said, we're going to debut our new look. Then they had a match against the Forgotten Sons where they did not debut a new look. They just did the exact same thing they were doing previously. And then they had this match where they debuted a new look.
Yep.
Such a weird little progression.
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't know why they didn't do it sooner.
Why didn't you do it at the takeover?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because surely they said they were going to do it at the takeover. Do it there.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess it wasn't ready in time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a taped show.
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks to sort these things out.
I don't know.
So yeah, this was... But then now, let's focus on the positive. They have got new entrance music. It's a whole new presentation. It's got some sirens in there. It's got a bit of a Law and Order theme about it. The downside of this, however, is they are just back to being the fashion police, and they're back to being comedy. Nothing has changed, and it just made me feel a bit sad.
Yeah, and I would also say when you're talking about the positives and the theme being one of them, I would disagree. I think the theme is a bit pants.
I liked it.
I thought it was a bit pants.
Maybe it's because I love Law and Order.
That might be it.
I got a bit of a kick out of the theme. I thought it was pretty rad.
I mean, it has the exact same siren that's in Scott Steiner's theme, and that really threw me through a loop. So I was like, oh my God.
If you hear me!
Yeah. I was like, Big Papa Pump. And then, yeah, it was just kind of it. I don't think it's as good as either Fandango or Tyler Breeze's theme. It's just worse than the sum of their parts. It's very strange.
I liked it.
Didn't really like it too much.
However, they were going up against a jobber tag team of Chase Parker and Matt Martell, who I was way more into than I was Breezango.
It's very strange. These guys,
Oh man, this is Bugenhagen. This is coming out and making yourself already feel like stars.
Yeah.
Like Matt Martell, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great. He's got his hands up in the air the entire time. They walk around the ring apron, and so he's got his hands as he's walking around, and he grabs the ring post and moves himself around, puts his hands right back up in the air, walks around. They've got the fleur-de-lis on their tights and stuff. It's a really, really cool presentation, and you've got Morrow and Nigel putting them over, and they're like listing off all of these great Canadian tag teams. They're saying like this, that, and the other. They want to emulate those great tag teams. And then all of a sudden, Beth Phoenix goes, Virgin Christian.
I totally missed that. That's amazing.
They were like the Hart Foundation, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and then he left it, and she went, Virgin Christian. And Morrow was like, yeah, no, sorry, you're absolutely right. But Nigel, quick as a hiccup, somebody said, someone get Beth some water. Loved it.
Wow, I totally missed that. Wow, that's amazing.
And then they had a match, and it was Breezeango ran wild, heels took over, Dango got the hot tag, they ran wild, they won.
There was one bit in this match that I really thoroughly enjoyed, because I'm a big fan of Breezeango. When Breeze was on the ropes doing his usual taunt thing where he lies across the top, and one of them, I can't remember which one it was, just screamed at me. She goes, "You think you're funny?" At Breeze, and he just goes, and just deadpan, just nods at him. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good basic tag team stuff. I was more into the jobbers than I was Breezango, and like this was a match that's designed to get Breezango over.
That's true. Yeah.
So
I mean, it was fine.
It was fine, is what it was.
Yeah.
Then we got the Myles backstage segment, and we cut backstage. So then they cut to this thing. I thought this was a really cool presentation. You got Nigel running down the card, talking about Velveteen Dream taking on Tesco's Finest. And all of a sudden, he's just like, wait, nope, sorry, we've got to cut backstage. And they did this hard cut to Io Shirai beating up Candice LeRae with a kendo stick in the parking lot. And she had to be pulled back, and Candice on the floor being like, ooh, owie, owie, owie. I thought, that's a pretty cool presentation.
Yeah, I like the fact that it interrupted the feed. It's a nice way to do it. I do wish we kind of saw a bit more of the beatdown, but I guess it makes sense that we don't, because we wouldn't be there in time for the attack to start. So it makes sense that way. It's just, I don't know, it felt a bit of too short for it to be like, oh, we've got to cut back here. And then as we cut, Shirai's getting pulled away. And it's like, I wish we'd have seen more of it, but it also makes sense to not have more of it. So I don't know what I want anymore.
I was going to say, I'm going to go with the it's mentality of here. It's just like this, the things that you don't see. Those are the things that make you think.
I guess,
It's kind of like makes me want, I want to see more of this.
Yeah.
So it whetted your appetite.
Yeah. But it was also very good because it kept the plate spinning, and Io Shirai is still amazing.
Yeah. Earlier today, Cameron Grimes has become Malibu Stacy, screaming that he didn't win. He wanted to shoot right to the top, but now he's at the bottom, but his goal is to get back to the top, and he wants to be champion, and he now has a new hat.
I don't know whether was going for the unhinged kind of vibes.
I think it was meant to be unhinged, yeah.
Didn't really work for me.
I actually really liked this. I thought it was a really solid bit of performance from Grimes.
I think it was
undermined by the hat.
Undermined by the hat slightly. I think it was good, but I just feel like he just repeated himself a lot, and that's that's supposed to make him unhinged rather than like acting unhinged a bit. Like he hit the side of the wall to start with, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then he just kind of said the same line like 3 times, and I was like, say some other things.
I liked it. I thought this was really cool. I just think the hat's a bit.
Yeah. I didn't mind the hat, honestly. It was fine.
We'll split the difference there then, mate. We'll split the difference there. Velveteen Dream had a match with Tesco's Finest, Kona Reeves. Actual big pop for Reeves. It felt like
the crowd
were like, oh, we haven't seen him in so long. It's nice to have him back again. And they were kind of pushing this. The story of this match was that Reeves needed to make a big impression because he's kind of been floundering for a while now. And I felt that he did that in this match. He really took control of this match. He showed off some really big moves. He's a tall lad. He's got very long reach with his legs and stuff like that. So actually, I thought some of this was actually pretty good. Yeah. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I've always said kind of when you and Laura have been talking about Kona Reeves, I'm like, I quite like him. Like in a small voice, I don't want to get bullied any more than I already do in the office.
You don't get bullied.
No, definitely not. Anyone seen the Screenstalker Let's Play stuff we do? No, I totally don't get bullied.
I mean, we forced you to watch it against your will.
That's true.
I mean, that would be the example I'd give.
Yeah, well, but I always quite like Reeves, and I think, he did a very good job in this match. I do wish that Dream got a bit more offense in this match, because it felt like it was 95% Reeves, and then Dream just went, and I win.
Yeah.
So I wish Dream kind of had a bit more of a comeback, but having said that, this still was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I enjoyed a lot of this. I liked Reeves trying to use the ropes to get the pin. The referee spotted it and said, "Oh, Ran, have you got the remote over there? Can you grab
the TV remote?
Thank you very much." The referee sort of like stopped him from doing so, and then he essentially like stood up and was like, "What are you doing?" And Mara just shouts very loudly, "She's doing her job." Do you want me to?
Yeah. Why is it not doing the thing?
Do you want to speak for a bit?
Yeah.
That's right. I'm back now.
Okay, you carry on talking.
Well, I need you to fill for time, but I'm done now. Carry on.
He grabbed the referee, spotted him, and then he just screamed at her, just, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm doing a job.
Exactly. Mara said, "She's doing her job."
Yeah.
Good stuff. I liked it. And then after the match, so Velveteen Dream got the win at the Dream Valley Driver. And then, like the seasoned pro, this is one of my big pet peeves in wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's a real dick move. It's when you hit a move that you know is going to be the finish. So you take your time getting into the pin to make the move look even more impressive.
I know,
it's a Jericho thing to do. It's a Triple H thing to do. It's a real old school, stupid backstage mentality thing of just like, I want to look strong, brother. So I want to get my S over. So I'm going to really slowly crawl into this pin. I'm not selling injuries, and I'm really struggling to get to this point. It's that, no, I know the match is over, so I'm just going to take my time.
Yeah, I'm just going to do my pose for a bit. I wasn't a huge fan of that, and especially because it's not like it was the Purple Rainmaker. It was a Dream Valley Driver that he often uses as like a setup move.
Which makes it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. It did make Reeves look a bit bad, but it's not Reeves' fault at all.
No,
it was just Dream
fault.
Being Dream, really.
And I'm really surprised at someone like Dream. He's 23 years old or something?
Very young,
he's in his early 20s. That's a bad habit to pick up in your early 20s. Or it's a bad habit for someone to teach you in your early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, he must be picking up Hogan's rubbing off on him from all the attire he's worn.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just another homage to Hulk Hogan.
I don't want to put these people over strong, brother.
Maybe that's what it is. I once put over Billy Kidman, brother. It's like, did you though, really? No, you got pinned by him in a fluke roll-up. You didn't really put him over, did you? Idiots. Anyway, after the match, up on the screen, Roddy is there, Roderick Strong, and he said, you wanted me to have the spotlights, you wanted me to show you something that you've never seen before, and it pans back, and he's burning Dream's sofa!
Curse you!
Damn you, Roderick Strong!
Yeah.
Burning the sofa.
And then he finished with a CM Punk line of "Do I have your attention now?" which I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed this. I always find it fun when they do
Good closing
extra.
angle.
Yeah, I thought it was fun to have a bit of extra, and it's something that would hurt Dream personally.
Yeah.
Which was nice. I just find it hilarious that out of context, it's like he's just gone and stolen a sofa and just burned it. Like, it's just
doesn't have to be Dream's one.
he's just got a sofa, and like someone who doesn't know the story of Dream having a sofa would just be like, why is he burning a sofa? What are you doing, mate?
There's also a moment during this match as well where they said Roderick Strong would be North American champion if Dream hadn't broken up the pin. I'm like, what? If Dream hadn't played by the rules.
If Dream wasn't in the match, despite being champion.
Dastardly. Whereas, like, Pete Dunne was legit screwed. Like, he had the pin and Dream bowled the referee over and like stopped the count.
Yeah.
That is breaking the rules. Dream just broke up a pin. Well, Roderick Strong would be champion. Then we got a recap of Rhea Ripley debuting in NXT, and they are going to have a match next week. That is being Ripley and Shayna Baszler, which I'm looking forward to. Can't see it getting a finish, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless.
It's not for the title, interestingly.
It's just a match.
So I think, especially with the announcement we got later on the night, this is kind of just filler. They're like, we've got some weeks.
Yeah,
so we'll just call over Ripley, and I don't know, she can have a match with Baszler or something.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is actually going to lead to anything, which I'm really disappointed with.
Yeah, I found that surprising as well, because it felt like that last week when Rhea Ripley essentially said, "You've beaten everyone, you've not beaten me," that she set herself up as the next contender. And then later in the show, Regal said, "We're going to have a number one contenders match in 3 weeks' time." So, okay.
And she's not part of it.
And she's not part of that.
So, yeah, I think she's just here for a filler, and I think Baszler's going to win, and Ripley will go back to NXT UK, I guess.
Well,
just like a one-off appearance.
We'll certainly see. But up next, this was my match of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nara, not Conti, taking on
same note.
Yeah, taking on Bianca Belair. Nara's never really had that sort of chance to shine on NXT, and this was her chance to shine. And I thought she was pretty rad in this match. I thought Belair was really good. And my note at the end here is, that was surprisingly great.
Yeah.
Because at the start, this is like, oh, right, okay, well, this won't last long. And then it did, and it was really good. And I was like, oh, man, I'm surprised. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we obviously already know that Bianca Belair can wrestle. She's great. Wasn't very sold on Nara before this, but she's really, really good.
That's great.
Really like this match. There was a spot quite early on that already got my attention, which was when Bianca Belair just kind of almost did like almost a springboard. She went up into the corner and then just did a backflip straight over Conti.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a Daniel Bryan backflip where he kind of puts one foot on and then leaps and does a backflip off. It was like a springboard. It was instantaneous. She just went doing and just did a backflip straight over. Oh, it was great. Yeah, it looked really cool. It was like, ooh, that's
really,
interesting
really
and different.
cool. Yeah, lovely bits of like she dived off the apron, but Belair caught her and hit a fallaway slam on the floor. They both got in at 9. The crowd actually they got warmer and warmer as this match went on. At the start, they were probably like a lot of us watching the show. We were like, oh, okay, ooh, cool, Nara concept,
Nara, sure,
or just Nara taking on Bianca Belair, sweet.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, everyone was like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah.
And I thought it made Nara look really, really great coming off the back of it. Belair just, at the end, just started unloading on her.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, this has gone on too long now. So I was wailing on her, hit the KOD for the win. Oh, it was really good.
It was very fun, yeah. I think that turning point was when she caught that crossbody and hit the full-away slam. That's when she was like, right, this is it now. In you go. Bosh, 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 bosh. And then just, beat it down.
I love that bit when Nara had the arm bar over the ropes. And then because the referee's counted 5, so Nara just let it go. She just like bowl to the floor. Just like completely crumpled down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, Belair just dropped.
It wasn't. And essentially, Nara was like, okay, I'll let go. And then,
it was awesome.
Great.
There was one tiny little spot early in the match that I really liked as well when Nara had Bianca Belair's feet, and Belair was holding on to like the ropes in the corner. She was trying to pull her away. She kept trying to pull, and Bianca was just holding up. So she just dropped her legs and just kicked her arms. It's like, all right then, fine. Just stop it.
That was brilliant.
That was really good. Yeah,
surprisingly good. I really enjoyed that.
Very good.
Adam Cole was backstage with his title, and then we got a promo for a little kid with cancer. He beat it because he's the best. You think you're tough? I beat cancer. And there's the big ooh-ah, and it cuts to Roman saying, I couldn't have done it better myself, bro. I thought this was wonderful.
Don't get me wrong. No.
Pessimistic Pete here.
No, this is not.
Pete hates kids with cancer.
This package was lovely. This was really, really nice. I hated the Roman Reigns bit.
I loved it. I thought the Roman Reigns bit was really sweet.
It looked pants. It looked like it was
like totally on green screen. Oh yeah, totally on green screen.
Totally on green screen. And he was wearing a headset like he was producing. I was like, you haven't produced any of this, mate.
He was filming it.
No, he wasn't.
He was filming the little kid saying
terrible.
Ooh-ah.
I don't even think he was in the same room as a kid saying
Of course he bloody
ooh-ah.
wasn't. It's probably done 5 weeks apart in different states.
Would have been better if he was there with the kid, like giving him a hug or something. That would have been so much more.
He's a busy man. He's got to try and find out who's trying to kill him backstage.
Even so, despite that, it was nice still.
It was nice. It's just that Pete hates kids who've beaten cancer. It's just one of these things. Anyway, Johnny Gargano is returning to NXT next week, and that's when we got the William Regal announcement that in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have a 3-way for the #1 contendership between Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, and Io Shirai.
Very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, really
Very much looking forward to it. He said in this as well, though, that it's not the #1 contender for TakeOver War Games. This is just the #1 contender.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be... I think it's going to be either Mia Yim or Bianca Belair again. And I think they're going to have that match on NXT TV because I think Candice LeRae is going to cost Io Shirai in the match.
Prediction.
Yes.
I think this is going to lead to War Games.
Nice.
And I think it is going to be the horsewomen with Io. Taking on Yim, Belair, Candice, and Rhea Ripley.
Oh, that's fun.
That's what I think.
That's fun.
It just feels like we've now got 8 people involved in these sort of like in a crossover storyline.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense for those 8 to then combine, like to clash in War Games. And it's the first ever women's War Games match. It all it seems to add up. I mean, perhaps I'm like overly thinking this and I'm overly speculating, but I'd actually be really down for that.
I would be so down for that. And I think that lends itself again to having the Undisputed Era clean sweep angle because then you've got the other matches on the card being the ones for the championships that the Undisputed want to win. Yeah.
I could see them going for that. Yeah, I'm down for it. Let's do it. Overall, good show.
Yeah. It was good. Nowhere near as good as last week, but...
That's a high bar.
You can't expect it to be that good every week.
It wasn't a bad show.
No, absolutely not. There was nothing that I don't think that was overly damaging.
No, it was a filler show.
Yeah, it was fine.
It's weird with an NXT Championship match, but it was a filler show.
Yeah, but no, it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Randy Andy Natson, what are people saying up in the super chats?
Hooray, I've done it.
Well done.
Just to prove to people how stupid I look with this, my head is far too big.
Nice. It actually is quite big. Yeah.
Pete's head fits it, and that
I'm pretty sure that's
on top of my head.
Pretty sure that's a kid's crown, which is why it fits my head.
And also, Pete, you're sort of making out as if you were the first one to be bullied here. That was mine.
It's Randy's gimmick.
I take your gimmick, yeah.
Exactly. But we will start with Hannah Stead, who says, "My first ever super chat. Watch live every time. Thank you for getting me through tough times. My favourite wrestling channel here."
Oh, thank you so
very
much.
much.
And I hope the bad times are behind you now. Always look forward to the positives in front.
Exactly. Finn the Assassin says, "Here is a little trivia for you two." Not you, Randy. Which wrestler has the most United States Championship reigns in history between 1975 and now? Bonus point for if you can guess how many reigns.
Kofi Kingston.
Dolph Ziggler.
You're both incorrect.
Both good shouts, though.
It is Ric Flair with 6.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
Datrain24 says, "Does NXT UK become the developmental brand for NXT now that it's on TV? I don't hear anyone discussing this. Do more folks start there now?"
Evolve is their training camp now.
Evolve and Progress.
Yes. NXT UK kind of sort of like is already kind of like it should be. But it doesn't feel like it feels like Pete Dunne is graduating from NXT to go into NXT main.
Yeah.
And Rhea Ripley has sort of graduated NXT UK to NXT main. But I wouldn't say that NXT UK is it's not the developmental system.
No, exactly.
It's there to kill the British wrestling scene. It's be facetious, obviously. So a lot of British wrestling companies have closed down in like the last couple of weeks. So if I'm feeling a bit down on the British wrestling scene at the moment, I'm feeling a bit down on NXT UK. Maybe that might be why. But on the brighter side of things, WWE essentially now have got loads of feeder systems. Like you said, Evolve, Progress, OTT, ICW, WXW, NXT UK. They've got a lot of like developmental systems.
Yeah, they don't really have a developmental brand anymore because everyone else is developing themselves elsewhere in the world, and then WWE just goes yoink, yoink, and then they take them.
Indeed. Rohan Mishra says, "Do you think Rhea will be the one to take the title off Shayna? And if so, I would like to see Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai."
I think if I'm going to go with my bold prediction of War Games, it's someone will pin Shayna, and that will set up the Royal Rumble takeover show. That will be the showdown there.
Yeah, so the War Games match won't be for the title. It's just going to be a blood feud type thing where everyone needs to let off some steam.
Yeah, some steam, Bennett.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's Rhea, that'd be great. And I'm totally agree with you. Like Rhea versus Io sounds like a lot of fun. Cool. Fun little update for you. The Screen Stalker It's Chapter 2 review is now live!
Woo!
So once you have finished watching this, obviously stick around to watch the rest of our super chats.
Because we're great.
You can head on over to Screen Stalker and watch Ollie Davis review It Chapter 2 in full, giving his in-depth thoughts on it, as well as seeing Chopper Pete Grinnell chop his pants while watching It Chapter 1 and doing the It Chapter 2 live experience in London's fashionable Waterloo.
Indeed. Tim Arndt says, "I know she's not great, but Beth coughing out Adrian Christian got a laugh out of me. It's one of the only moments on this show that I remember."
It's really good. Yeah, I mean, I'm no, and again, I don't think Beth's a bad commentator. I think she's got bad producing, and I think that the chemistry between Morrow and Nigel is so good that anyone's going to feel like a third wheel.
Yeah. Jobber JJ says, "My boys, the Jobbers were great, and Beth was great. Also, one taped show left. What are you hoping for when NXT goes live, and what don't you want to see?"
Well, I'm going to throw to you on this one, Randy Andy Datson, because didn't I see something on WrestleTalk.com about a possible title change happening on the first episode?
Yes. There is a match between, if I remember rightly, Velveteen Dream and someone. I didn't write it. I forgot.
Wouldn't be Strong, would it?
Yes, it is. It's Roderick Strong. God, I'm good.
Good job you're here. Yeah. Glad I threw to you there, Randy. Yeah. So there is every chance that they could do a title change on that show.
But then that means they get their clean sweep on the first episode of NXT being on USA.
But then they've got to debut.
Just like you predicted, Pete.
Yeah, I predicted that for the first episode of NXT on USA all the time.
Yep.
And not at War Games. Yep.
Japanese name says, today's title, what next for the women's division? I'm calling an all-women's War Games match.
Nice.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, would love it.
Absolutely agree.
And he's back in again, say, watch Royal Quest. Kenta's body was in the match, but his consciousness was in the Firefly Funhouse. Should have stopped the bout. Maybe I'm getting soft.
Yeah, it was
uncomfortable.
It was
towards the
uncomfortable to
end.
watch at times, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real shame as well because I was really looking forward to that match.
I know,
when
yeah.
we had the SWAF Nation meetup beforehand, when people were saying, what's the match you're most looking forward to? Every time I said it's Kenta Ibushi.
Yeah.
Ishii, sorry. So much looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be really hard-hitting stuff. And actually, I was really into it as well until something happened. I haven't rewatched the match, so I don't know whereabouts it happened, but Kenta just started to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe it was hard-hitting. Maybe it was too
Maybe it was a bit too
hard-hitting.
hard-hitting.
At the beginning, it was like, wow, this selling. And then you
Yeah.
went, oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, oh, dear. Maybe this isn't
Yeah.
good selling.
Yeah.
What was your match of the night in the end?
Probably the main event, I think.
Yeah, it'd be hard to argue.
Yeah.
The Okada Suzuki. Man, good lord, that was something special. That was
Also,
absolutely bonkers.
I thoroughly enjoyed Aussie Open GOD
yes,
as well.
that's what I was going to say. I was going to
Yeah.
say Aussie Open GOD. My boys, Aussie Open.
That chant, it just went on for 5 minutes.
I've been
it was
flying
amazing.
the flag for Aussie Open for some time now.
so good.
Everyone is finally getting on board with me.
Yeah.
What's an Aussie Open?
The tag team, mate.
Never heard of them. Adam Pearson says,
Hey.
WrestleTalk, I am off to Belfast for Celebrity Mastermind, where he's doing WWE between 2000 and 2019, I believe.
Yeah, it's a big old. That's a lot
That's
to
a long time.
Because he did say at the SWAF Nation meetup he's going to do his research.
Well,
I'm
do you
like, that's a
remember-
lot to bone up
Lot of
on. mate.
research.
Then when we did quizzed Ollie on backstage news from WWE, he was like, I'm going to do this brilliant, and he got like 2 out of 10 or
He
something.
did all right, actually. He did better than I thought he would do.
Good
But
luck,
yeah,
Adam.
Good luck to you, mate. Absolutely good luck to you.
Kailash Chowdhury says, hey guys, it's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Pete, too.
Happy birthday to you. Have a great day.
Happy Hanukkah.
Ryan B. Bask in his glory, King Chopper Whopper says, Scott Steiner to the Fashion Police confirmed.
Hell yeah. It was that siren, man. I'm telling you, it's the same.
Fashion, if you hear me.
And that's the last few ones now. Dinah Sisse says, hello from Fairfax.
Hello.
Home of Daniel Bryan.
Nova Scotia, I believe. I actually might have got something in America right.
Matt Noble says, happy birthday, Randy. Zach Icon Lindner says, happy Rusev Day, Chopper. Time with the boys.
Thank you.
And unless I'm much mistaken, there are a few more. Juan Martinez says, happy birthday, Randy.
There we go.
Adam Pearson says, Undisputed Era involved in Survivor Series?
No,
Ooh,
hopefully
no.
not.
No, I think
Not
they'll be
yet.
too busy at War Games defending all their titles.
Unless we do the female one.
Well, no, I mean, they'll be defending
Oh,
themselves across
right.
the show.
Sorry, I thought you meant in War Games.
Oh, no, I just mean at War Games.
At War Games.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
different, yeah.
Jonathan Hedman says, my biggest NXT USA fear is more scripted promos.
Me too.
I mean, in all fairness, the promos are scripted anyway. It's just they don't feel scripted.
They're just better at it.
Yeah. They're still scripted promos.
And the last one comes from James Hollins, who says, is there a top babyface of the NXT women's division?
Candice, I guess.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
Candice LeRae, I guess, would be the
Top
top.
babyface.
Because I don't think it's Mia Yim. Maybe it might be Rhea Ripley. Now, she came out to a superstar reaction last week.
Miriam and Bianca Belair haven't been the same since they lost against Baszler. So by default, I'd say
I think it's
Candice.
Candice, yeah.
Because she's been the longer. I think Rhea Ripley got that one-off pop because it was a big,
Yeah.
debut/return. So yeah, I think Candice by default.
Also, do you know what I've suddenly realised as well? I was thinking about the fantasy booking that I was doing in my head for the women's War Games match. And whoever pins it then takes on Shayna at the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
show. We also said that we wanted to see Asuka be the one to dethrone Baszler.
So maybe it's Asuka instead of Rhea Ripley in the match.
Maybe. I doubt it. I think I'm fantasy booking myself to corner. Essentially, what I've done is I fantasy booked Asuka's return to NXT, and I now believe it's going to happen.
Yeah,
This
that's
is why
totally
I suck
it.
at prediction games.
So what? Paige comes out and goes, hey guys, one half of my tag team is
Oh.
here.
Yeah, don't
God,
even.
don't.
Anyway, thank you all so much for your super chats, and thank you so much for watching. Head on over to Screenstalker right this ruddy second to watch Oliver Davis review It's Chapter 2, giving you some brilliantly in-depth thoughts about the spooky dooky scary wary movie. And you can also watch Chopper chop his pants watching It's Chapter 1 and doing the It's Chapter 2 live experience. I've only seen your reactions to the live experience, and they were great.
I scream a lot.
Yeah. Laurie, I don't like it.
It was scary.
So
it was scary, okay?
Laurie, I don't like it.
Laurie, I don't like it. I don't want to go in here.
I don't like it. What's
I don't like
that?
it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Oh, it's very good. Might be one of the best things we've ever done. Click the videos that have just appeared on the desk if you are watching this on catch-up, and click this button right here, which will make you a patron pledge hammer, where you can vote in the poll for WrestleRamble Extra. Will it be All In, or will it be Unforgiven 06, which features DX taking on the McMahons and Big Show inside Hell in a Cell? It's as terrible as it sounds. Maybe it was just a cage match. Either way, it's a rubbish match, and Mr. McMahon's face goes into Big Show's ass.
Nice.
Comedy.
Yeah.
So vote on that. I have been Luke Owen. This has been Chopper Pete Quinnell. Over there was Randy Andy Dadson, and that were NXT. Little bit of the